Hey guys, Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training on Zeus, who I just put in the crate. The house a little bit cool now, but it's going to warm up real heavy. So what we're working on is things like this. Yep, come here, place. Couche. Nope, place. Couche, good. All right, so he's got to learn to stay longer and longer on his placemat. And then we're going to be doing some muzzle work with her today. Let me go get my muzzle because we're going to be doing that. We're working him into a muzzle. Now, the big thing with Zeus is he's a Dutch Shepherd. He is what he is, predisposition of a really high-quality, high-drive Dutch Shepherd. Now, here's the issue. The owner that got him ended up going out and seeing a poster online with all these guys that are getting into breeding this breed with really hot bloodlines from over in the KNPV land, as I've said before, Holland and Denmark. These dogs have been bred, especially since the time that we started going over to the sandbox and all the stuff that we did over there with the wars we had over there in Iraq and all that. Good. They have increased the quality of the dog pointed towards what these dogs have been bred to do in the last 100 years or so, 60, whatever years it's been, which is police work. KNPV is a police-oriented sport that actually is certified when they get the PH1 certification. They actually can be legally a police dog over there. That's their first application. So a lot of times the law enforcement would go over there to do their buy trips, and they'd be looking with a dog with a title, PH1 dog, already, because now that dog's had all that development as a puppy, doing all this bite work and all this work that they call a green dog, meaning he's just never been on the street and really bit anybody for real. So now the department takes the dog on their buy trips, couche, comes over here, and then they put them through the training program to get them ready to go to the street with usually a green officer, an officer that's never been around it, because they want the officer to be into their program, right? Whichever department. Every department's different. They got politics, they got admin, they got all kinds of things that you hear them talking about. So the handler has to deal with that. And it's not easy sometimes, depending on their money they're looking for to be able to support their programs. All that stuff is a factor. So time is an issue. So they take a 6-week program to some of these facilities, 6 weeks, and boom, they're out on the street with couche, good, with the officer. But this isn't a dog that I would generally say is a good pet quality dog. He's not, okay? This dog has been bred to do a job. So all that energy, all those drives towards that is going to get to be a major pain in the ass for somebody that doesn't have the right environment or doesn't put the work in, doesn't get off the couch to really learn and grow their animal. Now, I just so happened to have this dog come into my hands for the training program. I've already done one stint, which the first one was to teach him the communication-based word of no, good, and yes. Now, the next one is now maturity's starting to come along. We're starting to do a little bit of bite work. And then I have gotten to know the owner real well, gotten to know their home situation, and I've kind of made a determination on the best way to go to get this dog to have as much of a balanced life as possible and make sure we have a lot of control how we build this dog in the bite work and everything else. So right now we're doing that. It's I'm doing shaping. I'm doing an indirect rewards. I'm teaching the dog to go into a ball and watch me, and there'll be a lot of control. Why? Because normally if I had a dog like this, I'd put a lot more wind behind the sails and be doing all kinds of bite work, and I wouldn't worry about it until later when the dog matures, and then I'd try to put the control in. That, a lot of times with a high drive dog like this, can be a major pain in the ass. Because what you end up doing is having to pound on the dog to get control because you put so much wind behind the sails in the bite work that a dog like this with all kinds of drive is not going to settle down very easily, and you've just screwed the pooch. Because now by not having any control, it doesn't take anything to spiral him up. I can say boo, and this dog will bounce off the walls. Good. So right now we're taking everything down to very low, no stimulation. We're teaching him to go into the sleeve and do his bite with a lot more control, capping, control work. Now, some trainers would say that that's not a good thing. They'll take the starch out of the dog. Well, reality and truth is you got to realize where their environment is. The gentleman's got 3 young kids. The dog is going to be worked into a muzzle, which I'm going to show some of that here in a second. Good. Muzzle work. We're going to make this dog have a lifestyle of a lot more sedate as much as we can. And then the muzzle is going to be there for his protection when he goes out in public, around the kids. The dog doesn't, the environment's too much with the squirrels. You got a pool in the backyard. And these kids will be screaming, yelling, bouncing balls. This dog's going to have to deal with all that. So on those days that might be a little bit overwhelming to the animal, we're going to make sure the dog learns to be in a muzzle so that we don't have an accident, right? Not the dog's fault he's been bred to have this much intensity. It's mainly society coming in and somebody that possibly should not have even bought a dog like this, purchasing a dog with this kind of caliber. So it's a challenge for me as a personal protection trainer to be able to make sure I form, mold, and shape this dog into his environment, into what he needs, customization, for this dog to match and mesh into that environment. Not an easy task, okay? A lot of trainers would say, no, don't do it. Well, I have the same feeling, but the customer already bought the dog, he loves the dog, and is paying me for my services. So I'm going to do the best job I can by virtue of the dog and for him as me giving him services, right? That's what he's paying for. And that's what I'm pretty good at doing. Couché. Assis. Nope. Assis. Good. There you go. Good. Au pied. Au pied. Nope. Good. Good. Look. Yes. Au pied. Look. Yes. Good boy. Now, we started yesterday, I did a session with a buddy of mine. We're starting to shape him into his indirect reward, which is the sleeve bite. And we're keeping things very low stimulation and going more towards the avenue of control, yes, with the knowledge that we don't have to do anything to spiral this dog out. I can say boo and start shaking a sack or sleeve, whatever, bring up my prey drive, the dog's going to bounce off the window. You don't have no problems with that. So we're trying to teach the dog with shaping and get him to understand, au pied, good, good. Nope. Yes, good boy, good. And then now we're starting to get this look. It's starting to come together. And if I had a training room with some mirrors, I'd be right on. This would be the time I'd want to start doing that. So, and we're going to tie this into him having to have some kind of control with a look, and then he'll get his bite, right? And we'll keep doing that, and then we'll broaden it. We'll branch it into other behaviors within the work, so that the dog starts to associate a lot more with a lot more control. And again, most trainers would not want to do this because they'd be worried about taking the starch out of the dog. Remember, we're talking a Dutch Shepherd. We don't have to worry about this as long as you don't squash the dog. But we do have to worry about his environment with the kids and society and a layman. He's just a general customer. He doesn't have any knowledge. I can teach him as much as I can, but he has a lot to learn and grow. OPA, and there's a good risk of something happening if we don't do things properly, right? With educating the customer as well as the dog. It's not just the dog, guys. All right, place. Couché. I'm going to go get a muzzle and come back, so I'll come back with another session on the muzzle. Talk to you later.